teaching points for Minuet 3. Hopefully we can get through it before the drilling outside starts again. Just do a quick body scan, think about your knees, hips, spine, everything else, bow hold, etc. Well done. And no drilling. Let's go, my room. Okay, you guys don't need your violins, so if you don't need the space.
Hold up there, I think I might just go. We don't need anything at all.
I don't know, but you can just put it on the table in the hall.
Yeah.
You need help with the chair? You need help with the chair?
No, she has a chair. Can you put your violin on the table outside?
Yes.
Thank you.
But with this one, or do you need it?
I have this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. We can just bring it
Come on, folks.
Sorry.
We don't need a chair. We've got enough chairs.
There's enough chair.
There are enough chairs. Thank you. And let's close the door because of drilling. Delightful. We won't do any until 3 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no preview for Minuet 3. And it is actually by Christian Petzold, Petzold, not by Bach. Which they've chosen not to change in the book, I don't know why.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I saw it in there. I think it's a grade book or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was in a collection of minuets for one of Bach's daughters, which is why there was a mistake, like they thought that all of the pieces in it he'd written for her,
Yeah.
but this is actually by Petzold. But I don't know why they haven't fixed it. It's kind of rude to Petzold, I think.
Yeah.
You know, long dead though, so hey ho. Okay, so we have development of slurs as a teaching point, but not a tick box. And the sort of refinement of minuets, bowing, and phrasing.
I missed it.
The development of slurs and the refinement of the minuet, phrasing and bowing. And this piece comes again in book 3 with the minor minuet added and optional, which I think shouldn't be, I think you should do them, ornaments. For the second piece in book 3.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So it's with I it says there. Is there any different if you
With
write
what?
with E, the minuet? Because minuet and minuet, are they different?
Minuet is the English way to write it.
Oh, okay. So if I write minuet, it's still understandable, right? Because I keep writing.
Understandable but incorrect, yes. It's a
incorrect.
spelling mistake for English,
Okay,
yeah. But I will know what you mean.
Okay.
Okay. So it's really useful for play togethers because of book 1s and book 3s being able to play together. It's also if you're working like here with different instruments, the flutes play the minor minuet in this key. But unfortunately that means you can't play it in the cello key. So, you know, standard key issues between different instruments.
What's the cello key?
A 5th over,
Oh, right.
I think. I have on my phone actually a very helpful minuets note because the minuets are so poorly done within the Suzuki world. They have called them different numbers for different, so here's my minuets, minuet numbers, right. Violin minuet 1 is flute minuet 1, is cello minuet 1, but it's in book 2. So at least when we say minuet 1, we mean the same piece, but it's in 2 different keys, if not 3. Violin minuet 2 is flute minuet 3, is cello minuet 2.
God.
Violin minuet 3 is flute minuet 2, is cello minuet 3 in book 2, and the minor minuet for flutes is just called minor minuet. It's a completely separate piece. They play to the end as a completely standalone piece, which I think is really weird because in my mind it's just a filling for the major, but there we go. I should add the keys to it, but not right now. Okay, so the tick boxes are ringing tones, or ringing notes. We could also call that intonation if you want to. Smooth slurs, boxes, and bowing. And then of course, if you need tone, bow hold, memory, you know, whatever else they need for the ticks, that's fine. You just add them. In fact, I'm going to add memory because I think most kids will find it difficult for memory because of the different endings. Okay so far? boxes, the practice boxes, bar 15 to 17. So they can practice during the retake, putting the 1 on and then adding the 4, which I say is like a ta-da! So that they can practice the 1 going on as you see at the bottom of the page, and the 4 therefore building a good hand shape by putting them together.
I thought you said 15 to 16.
15 to 17.
Oh, okay.
Can you repeat? Can you repeat that?
That what the point of doing that box is so that in the retake they go da-da. So they practice that, not that, and not this.
Again?
Not that,
Yeah.
and not this, but ta-da, 1 4.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yes, bar 17 are you talking about?
Yeah, so the box is 15, 16 and 17 because of what happens here. 1 4. Watch my fingers. Ta-da! And the intonation on the G.
Should we tell them to not take the finger on this one? But sometimes when they do 4th finger, the 2nd finger comes a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think that's the other reason the 1 is helpful. Then it's next door. And for some students, the box will go to the end of 20, to the end of that line. Maybe only 5 times. So they probably want to practice da-da, da-da, like a silent exercise, 10 of those.
Yeah.
And then that as a box for a week, 10 times maybe. And then if they need to, add the next 3 bars. And then the other practice box is 25, that whole line.
I always do 0 there.
Please do a 4.
So this is also another box, right? 18, 19, 20 is.
Maybe they will need it in addition so that they have then a long box from 15 to 20. It depends on the student.
Okay.
But this due to A, G, right? To be smooth, this word, is that?
Yep, we want the smooth da 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 and the 4. And keeping the 3 down here, keep it on the D string while the 4 goes on the A string. So you just want to draw a little line like that.
So that's the donkey thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The line here.
This one.
Yeah, but put this line in.
Oh, okay. Oh, the finger tree there.
Do you see, Jacqueline?
Yeah, I got
You have it, great. Why do we want them to practice D4 there?
D.
D4?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean D4?
A4.
Da 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 4.
Oh.
It's D4.
Oh, right.
Because the next bar is starting again on this string, avoid
Good.
the string crossing.
Excellent. You can avoid the string crossing by using the D4. This is the first piece they can use a D4 in reasonably. And we have a really good setup for it to be successful. They're going to have the F sharp down, the G down, and this makes this easy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you decided to do, for example, We don't have anything here, but
Oh yeah.
I mean that is also set up because you have the 3 down. But you know, if you were going to just use a 4 with no other fingers on, it would be too difficult.
Is that just one bar of the box or 2?
4, that whole line, 25.
Oh.
What do you mean by saying playing crotchets?
I mean, it doesn't go da da dum bum ba. Like 2 lines later is the same music. Da 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 da. Jello blue,
Okay,
blue,
okay.
3. And here they have to remember.
Blue,
Da,
blue.
da, 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 da. Blue, 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 3.
Yes. Okay.
For kids who get the slur thing quite easily, this is quite a simple piece and they can steam through it quite quickly. Other children find it really difficult to memorise the slurs. So how can we make it easier for them if they are a child that finds remembering where the slurs happen difficult? What can we recommend to them?
Break it down. So you're not doing the whole thing.
Good, do smaller chunks, great.
Besides, I think, besides the piano, every crotchet, every first 2 crotchet is slurred.
Yes, so we always have blue, slur, separate, down, slur, separate, down, slur, separate. If you have that pattern, because that's not what happens in bar 25. So when you have
Exactly.
1 crotchet and 4 quavers, it's always that pattern. Good, so looking for patterns is really helpful. Something else that we could do, Rim?
To remember the slur.
Yeah, or to learn the slurs. Think technology.
Technology.
Technology. Does listening to the recording help them with their slurs very much?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Does it?
I think so.
because if it's ta, it will sound ta. If it's ta ta, it will
So you'd
sound
have to have quite a...
Let's just have a listen and see if we really agree.
Maybe the YouTube ones where you follow the music at the same time.
Very good. YouTube where you can follow the music at the same time, or my Dropbox has gone in a weird place and I don't know where it is. Or
Just watching the music, looking at the music. While
no. Keep thinking.
bowing-
Right.
Bowing it in the air.
Good. Bowing it in the air while you are
Listen. And watching.
watching.
Looking. Alright, reading the music.
looking at what? Reading the music.
Yeah.
One thing. Yes. I mean, we can tell this is a slur,
Yeah.
but
The
let's
kids,
listen
uh,
to later. Does it sound so different?
No.
No.
So we have to be really careful as teachers not to put our assumptions about what they can hear onto the listening. When people say things like, if your students don't know their pieces, they're just not doing enough listening. This is, I think, very unhelpful, because actually what might be happening is lots of listening, but they are a very visual learner and they actually need to look at the music. Or they might be someone who is listening a lot but not playing it enough, or playing it full of mistakes, which doesn't help them fix those mistakes and memorise them. So the best way to learn for visual learners where the slurs are is to play it with a video. You cannot look at someone playing it and get the slurs in the wrong place. You can follow and get confused. Lots of kids at this stage, their sight reading, you know, the level of sight reading that they're doing is not that book. They've never sight read a slur. Someone's moved my I Can Read Music book 1, which is very annoying. Anyway, they are reading, you know, things like this. And that's too fast, really, for what they'll be sight reading. And then, like, quite complicated rhythms. But you know, if you think, okay, you suddenly put this in front of them and you think that they can see where the slurs are, It's not really right yet. I do think it's helpful, you've seen it with Noel, to colour the slurs in and get the students to do it. So you give them a coloured pen and you say, okay, can you go over each one? And then you talk about what the difference is between the ones in bar 2, where we have the dots to show that it's a hooked bow, and for example bar 1 where we have the smooth slur. And just get them to do the smooth slurs. They can also do the bowing in the air with the video if they're not ready to play it through yet. They can soap it. They can use that, you know, I lent it to Noel over half time so I don't have it here, but you know the thing with the ends and
Oh,
bow on
yeah.
it, ribbon. So I think out of all of those different things, identify the pattern, do smaller chunks, and help visually either with a video or with the music, or if the parent plays with them doing it in the air or something to show what the bowing is, are the most helpful things.
Is there any plugin around here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all moved into this tiny room and they haven't done a single other. Bar 8, I do not like an acciaccatura. I like an appoggiatura. Ta-da! It's too out of character.
Oh, on the beat, right?
Yeah. Dee-doo. I think I play almost a full quaver.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you don't need to go into the details of that with the student about what's written and what it's called, an appoggiatura and a acciaccatura. You just show them a bit slower.
And it is on the beat, yeah. Yeah.
It is when I play. Let's just have a listen to Hilary. That's what I like. Which is good because that's what they're listening to. So not ba-dum.
Okay. What was the name of it?
Appoggiatura. This one is an acciaccatura you catch as quick as fast as possible. An appoggiatura is slower, like it sounds. It's slower to say.
Okay.
So an appoggiatura wouldn't have the line through it, and that would mean that you take the value of the note written out of the note it's attached to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was acciaccatura, the other one. I just knew with
Acciaccatura.
the thing it was smaller.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the name.
So it's the first D4, if you do it. I had one trainee who was obsessed with all the firsts. He made this whole document of all the firsts. Book 1 to 3. I should ask him for it actually.
Yeah.
But some kids really like to know what they're doing for the first time. Others just like, yeah, whatever, it's just like A4 but on D.
Yeah.
So, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Great, we might even get through Happy Farmer. Right, during Minuet 3 we have Happy Farmer Twinkle, which is the bowing preview for the Happy Farmer. And of course it's printed after Happy Farmer. So if you look on the second half of page 42, there it is.
Page 42.
You're saying during
42.
Minuet 3?
Yeah, just the Happy Farmer Twinkle. And I mean, sometimes they'll finish it before you get a chance to do it. It's not a disaster, but that's the ideal.
Twinkle.
So I'm going to play it for you because you don't have violins in here. Normally you would, but we are using half a bow for the dotted crotchet, and almost it is actually just a crotchet followed by a crotchet quaver rest, and then the quaver for half the bow as well. We don't mean half of the bow in its entirety, we mean half of what we're using of the bow, which is basically balance point to about the top at this stage. So stop, go, 1, 2, stop, go, 1, 2, stop, go, 1, 2, stop, go, 1. So slower bows. So we're not playing the same speed. Because then the quavers are too small.
So
So
half the bows.
So
Half the
twice as slow on the dotted crotchet,
Yeah.
and then a faster bow on the quaver.
Right.
Is the easier way to think about it.
And it starts from the frog, not the. Is this the first place we start from the frog?
We are for the twinkle. I would start at the balance point
Okay.
where you would expect them to, and then once we're into the piece, we'll get to starting of the frog.
You wrote
Heel.
down.
Why does anyone know why it's called the frog?
I have no
It's a
idea.
German word, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it was
I always thought it was
very nerdy pupils asked all these things, and I have to find out.
Excellent. I love this. You can tell us.
It's-
Last
it's
time I
just-
had something like this, I sent it to the video. Anyone who knows, please put it in the chat, and someone did. So
It's from the word frosh, but I forgot what it means. It was some maker that named it the frosh, but I forgot what it means. So.
but frosh doesn't mean frog.
No, but
It's just been like bastardized in translation.
yeah.
Kind of thing.
So yeah, but I'll ask her. Actually, I'm teaching her tonight. I'm sure she remembers. She's kind of
Excellent.
Asperger's-y.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Very good
Also,
for remembering things like that.
She's really cross about that being called saying bar. She's not doing the Suzuki book, but it's in another book. And she was like,
It's so annoying. I mean, it's so annoying. Like if I wrote something and then it was attributed to someone else for 400 years, A, I'd be cross about that, and then B, when they found out that I'd written it, they still didn't bother to change it. That's very rude.
Yeah.
Like
True.
Petzold should be famous.
It's-
I've
Yeah.
never even heard of Petzold until I found out about this.
Yeah,
This is a piece that like almost every young violinist plays.
True.
and pianist.
And other instruments.
Yeah.
It's really rude. Anyway, there are other things we can get more upset about if you want to.
Can I ask you what did you wrote? You said it is starts at balance point and stop just above the middle.
Yep, then go to tip on
tip,
quaver,
on quaver, and then something above.
reverse for up bows.
Reverse.
So just the same.
Okay.
So basically we're starting somewhere between using half the bow between the balance point and the upper half, or 3/4 of the bow between the balance point and the tip. I don't want you to get too bogged down in exactly how many centimetres they're using, but basically slow, stop, fast, slow, stop, fast, slow, stop, fast. But the point is we're not doing the real heel bit yet until they've understood this bowing pattern. This is really hard for a lot of them to get this bowing pattern. It's the first hooked down bow if you want to be occupied with your firsts. Is that correct? Yeah, because we had the down, up.
Yeah, but it's not hooked. Right.
What else is it a first for?
Different form.
Good.
What? I didn't hear.
Different form. So A, B, A2, B, A2, not a sandwich.
A.
And then A2.
B, A2. Thanks, it is. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it is true actually.
What's that?
Jacqueline just said, yeah, it's true. I'm like, yeah, I know. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Didn't you got a spare pen? Mine's run out.
Yes, loads. It's the first dotted rhythm in hooked bowing. Where's the other dotted rhythm in book one?
Mason.
Well done, Rem. It is indeed. That's it. 2 pieces in the whole book with dotted rhythm. Well, O Come Little Children feels a bit like a dotted rhythm because it's short and then a rest, slow and then a rest and then quaver. But to be honest, these are the only 2 that feel like it. So if you haven't done your twinkles in G, where did we say we would do our twinkles in G? Ages ago.
Twinkle with the yeah, and then T.
We did. Minuet.
I know, perpetual.
Minuet 1. I see practice. Twinkle in G.
Just Minuet 1? I think it's
I
before.
saw Minuet 1. I don't know.
We should have written it in before Minuet 1 because we have G major tonalisation on page 36. So twinkle is easier than that in G major. I'm just trying to see if I actually wrote it in.
So perpetual motion indeed. Yes.
Check G major scales.
Long ago, start on G. Allegretto. Yes. Page 34.
So I would
That twinkles
say
on D is O Come Little Children.
I thought you were
on
talking
G.
Oh, on
D3.
G?
D3.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think we've given a specific place.
Yes, but they.
Oh yes, I'm looking at it. After Allegro.
Yes. It says. Where did it go?
Are we going to do low 2s early?
Yes.
I feel that's.
Twinkle in G, yeah. I like that.
I feel like I think I mean open G because of allegretto. So this is a classic example of how you think you're being very clear and it's not clear. So please write where it says teach twinkles in G, just write in brackets open G, not D3.
Oh, on G Allegro?
Yeah, because if you think about what they've done by Allegro, they're not ready to do low 2s yet,
Yeah.
but they need the G string for what?
Practice.
Open G string, okay.
Twinkle.
Why do they need
They're
the G string?
On open
No,
G string, you
allegretto.
said?
Yeah. For allegretto, exactly.
So where do you do G starting on G3? Here, what are you watching next?
So I would say, at the same time, I don't know why we didn't write it down. Page 36, we're going to teach them Sad Go Turn Up Roadie, Hungarian dance. Twinkle in G is obvious, but it's so obvious we didn't write it down. And Twinkle in G starting on D3.
Which one is that? Sorry, D3? Allegretto.
No, on page 36. All the G major stuff. Between Andantino and Huge. But we are doing it between Allegretto and Andantino, yes,
Okay.
you're correct.
A question, do we have Sad Go Talent Roddy on the Dropbox? I couldn't find it to edit.
No, it's just Go Turn Up Ready with low 2s, I've never written it out.
Okay.
So there's two versions. There's the sad Go to Aunt Rhody, which is just low twos but still F sharps on the E
Mhm.
string, and then there's very sad Aunt Rhody, which is with F naturals, which you would do maybe around now.
Okay. Could it be between Minuet 3 and Happy Farmer?
Well, do they need a low one ever in book one?
No.
No, so any time basically towards the end of the book.
Mm.
Like, and it will depend very much on siblings. Like, Riker just taught himself because he's had Noelle do it because she's in book 2 now. So he's just like, I know how to do it, and I know Aunt Rhody goes to Egypt, which is the harmonic version. So they really like this stuff. They will pick it up from an older sibling without you teaching it to them most of the time. But if you don't have an older sibling and they haven't got it in group or whatever, somewhere towards during the last two pieces, do very sad Go to Aunt Rhody. Okay, so by the time they finish Minuet 3, hopefully, and you get onto the Happy Farmer, they've done their Happy Farmer Twinkle. I'm going to change what is written here. If you're looking at a copy of my book, it says start just above the middle to the balance point. No, we are starting at the balance point and going to the heel. Apparently Dr. Suzuki was very famous for saying, I have a new idea. And this is one of the reasons that some people who only went to study with him for a short amount of time and then took everything he said as gospel, teach some things that we don't teach anymore now. For example, North America has lots of teachers who teach the twinkles from here because he tried this. So all the teachers who went to study with him did from the right angle of the arm, and then he was like, no, I think it's better to start here. So basically anything that someone says to you, Dr. Suzuki always did this, take with a pinch of salt, because he was always changing what he was doing. That's really the only thing that we can reliably say.
So on the
From the balance
the
point
balance point.
to the heel. So this is the first official point where you have to make sure they are playing right to the heel. Lots of them will already be doing it naturally, and that's fine.
For more space, the next notes, I think. Yeah.
So that they can use the whole bow.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We moved into my room because we thought they were going to be so noisy, so make yourself at home, but there's not enough room for you in here, I'm afraid.
Hi.
Are you waiting, or are you just coming to deliver and then go? You're cool. Make yourself at home, there's tea and coffee in the kitchen. Okay, so I think you definitely want to use the colours for this piece to show the kids the different endings, because they are not going to be able to keep in their head A, B, A2, B, A2, but they can understand it looking at this. So I always use the same colour for A and A2 with different endings, so it doesn't matter which ending you use, but you know, like a squiggly line and a dotted line.
you just tell me what the structure is again?
A,
Yeah.
A, B, A2,
Yeah.
B, A2.
For Minuet 3, the last line, the last is different, but it's just the quavers that are different. So should
Yeah,
we
so
put B as
so again I would use something like dark green and light green. Sorry, dark green and light green. So here I have the dark green, and then I have the light green, and just make something to show that
so
that's
would,
different
would
there.
that be A, B1, C, B2? Because it's still B.
A1, A1, B, C, A3, B, C, A3. I would say.
A1, A1, B, C.
C is bar 25.
Mm-hmm.
A3. No, not A, sorry.
B.
B1.
B1.
So if they are going to start from the balance point when they are these ones working, do they need to start from heel instead of the balance
No.
point?
We want them to get the bowing pattern
Okay.
without worrying about using more bow, and
Okay.
then when they start the piece, they will learn the longer bows. Well, more how to use a different part of the bow. Okay, so if they've done their twinkle nicely, then we start. That should be relatively simple for them.
Yeah.
So if it is, then I add. But if they're finding it very difficult, I would just do the first 5 notes as a practice box. Just going to reach on and turn this heater off.
Yeah.
I need to adjust the heating for spring weather. Woo! Stroke global warming. Boo! I want this in a box, but I put the box in the bar 5, 6, 7 plus 1 note, so that it's not just 2 overlapping boxes, because it's intimidating for them. So if you put this one in the box, it just feels a bit nicer for them. And don't add the ending, because otherwise you get someone very good at do 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 or do 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 and not able to put the right thing in the right place. And then the last box, D4, please don't let them use an open string.
Would you do it in 9 and 10 or 15 and or? Cause
I do it in 9 and 10, but it doesn't really matter. They all know the piece 3 blind mice. So I talk about being like 3 blind mice, but there are only 2, because then we start on the 2. So 2 blind mice. 2 blind mice. Pizza, please. Or, you know, whatever. If they don't like pizza, pasta, whatever they do like.
Burger.
Burger, please. We have red fingers on D, blue fingers on A and E, so high 2s on the D string, low 2s on the A and E, and no exceptions. Bless you. Jinx.
High 3?
2.
Oh.
do. No high threes in this piece. Lots of them manage this piece really quickly and easily, and some of them don't. If they're struggling with the bowing, use all the same tricks that we talked about for Minuet 3, playing with the video, bowing in the air, stomping their arm, watching the music. We are going to finish in 1 minute. The tick boxes are memory, bow distribution, don't you go at 3?
10 to 3.
10 to 3. Boxes,
What was the second one?
bow distribution,
The first one?
memory.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I mean, the picture is on your WhatsApp, so.
Oh yes,
Oh,
sorry.
no problem.
Energy and bowing.
This was the first time we put an energy on it.
Yeah. So exciting. 1 piece left.
The most complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week we will do finger patterns.
Yeah.
We will do gavotte. Is anyone not here next week? No, good. And we have teaching practice. How are we getting on with teaching from the balance point?
I only just got it.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
give it.
I'll read it. I'll just read it.
Looks finished.
Well, we can do it in 2 weeks.
Can we? That would
Yeah.
be really nice to properly do it.
Okay, I'll take the number.
Okay. Have you read Teaching from the Balance Point?
I'm already
Yet.
reading.
Okay, how much have you got left?
It's just beginning. I read it before ages ago. but
Okay.
I reread again. I don't remember anything.
Okay, so can we do it in 2 weeks?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
enough? Okay, great.
Is there anywhere on our lessons that we can do again the excellence on practice?
The
Excellence on practice, like with the how to tell them how to
how to
practice.
set good practice.
Yeah, how to set good practice.
Yes.
I looked at the video again, but I'm still confused.
Yeah, sure.
Because you weren't here, were you?
I was, but I was just confused on that day.
Oh.
And
So finger patterns, Gossec. Well, let's do that next week.
yeah,
setting
there's a lot of
practice.
things depending
Yeah.
on which song they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely one we will come back to more than that as well.
Okay.
Okay, see you next
Okay,
week.
bye. Okay, and then in 2 weeks, teaching from the balance point. Is there anything else you're aware of wanting to have?
No, that's come to mind, but maybe we can reflect and let you know.
Or group lesson stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a big
Yeah.
list, it's just if there's anything that we've already done
No.
that you want to do again. let me
I'm
know.
just wondering if Iran has to go at 10 to 3, if we should start a bit early, because it's almost not worth